In 1945, at the height of the victory over Nazi Germany, a group of Soviet school children presented the U.S. ambassador in Moscow with a beautiful, hand-carved wooden replica of the Great Seal of the United States. It was a gesture of friendship, a symbol of the alliance. For 7 years, that eagle hung directly behind the ambassador's desk. It witnessed every top-secret conversation, every private strategy, and every whispered vulnerability of the American government. But here is the shocker. The eagle was screaming. Inside it was a device so advanced it didn't even use electricity. No wires, no batteries, no radio signals that could be detected by the technology of the time. This is the true story of the thing. The most brilliant piece of spycraft ever created, and the genius who built it in a secret Soviet laboratory. The date was August 4th, 1945. The Vladimir Lenin All-Union Pioneer Organization, essentially the Soviet Boy Scouts, visited Spaso House, the residence of U.S. Ambassador Averell Harriman. They brought a gift made of rare woods, a massive, majestic Great Seal of the United States. Harriman, moved by the gesture, had his staff check the gift for wires. They poked it. They X-rayed it with the primitive tech of 1945, and they scanned for radio frequencies. They found nothing. No metal, no circuits, no power source. Satisfied, Harriman hung the eagle in his private study. For the next 7 years, 4 different U.S. ambassadors sat under that eagle. They discussed the Marshall Plan, the Korean War, and the nuclear secrets of the Manhattan Project. Little did they know, every word was being heard across the street at a Soviet KGB station. To understand how the eagle listened, we have to meet the man behind it, Leon Theremin. To the American public, Theremin was a world-famous musician and inventor of the theremin, the only instrument played without touching it. But in 1938, he was kidnapped by Soviet agents in New York and dragged back to Russia, where he was thrown into a sharashka, a secret laboratory for prisoner scientists. Under the threat of death, Theremin invented the thing. It was a passive cavity resonator. It consisted of a small silver diaphragm and a tiny wire antenna. That was it. No battery, no vacuum tubes. It was a dormant bug that stayed invisible until the right frequency hit it. The Soviets would aim a high-frequency radio beam from across the street toward the ambassador's office. The beam would hit the eagle. The sound of the ambassador's voice would vibrate the diaphragm inside, and the beam would reflect back to the Soviets, carrying the audio. Unless they were actively beaming it, the bug was invisible. The Americans didn't find the bug. The British did. In 1952, a British radio operator at their embassy in Moscow was scanning local frequencies when he suddenly heard a familiar voice. The British air attaché speaking in the American embassy. He realized he was hearing a ghost signal. He alerted the Americans. The FBI sent their top sweepers to Moscow. They searched the room for days. Finally, out of sheer frustration, a technician took a hammer to the wooden Great Seal. As the wood splintered, a tiny metallic object fell out. He had never seen anything like it. It was so simple, it was terrifying. The discovery was kept secret for years. But in 1960, after the Soviets shot down an American U-2 spy plane, the USSR accused the USA of unprecedented espionage. In a legendary moment at the United Nations, U.S. Ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. stood up. He didn't use words. He used the eagle. He showed the world the carved wooden seal and the tiny thing hidden inside it. He proved that while the Soviets were lecturing the world on peace, they had been hacking the heart of American diplomacy for nearly a decade. This story is the ultimate reminder of the silent war. It led to the creation of SIFs, the signal-proof rooms used by presidents today. It proved that the most dangerous weapon isn't always a bomb. Sometimes it's a gift from a child. Sometimes it's a piece of wood on your wall, listening to your every breath.